Okay, so what we have for today is some more solving quadratics with the quadratic formula. So it's basically the same exact thing we did on the last lesson, but in this problem we might get something a little special. So we'll see how that goes. So same method as we did last lesson. So first check I equals 0. I do. Great. Don't have to move anything. So I can go ahead and find my a, b, and c. So my a equals 3, my b equals -2, and my c equals 5. Okay? I'm going to take these, plug it into my equation. So I'm going to put that negative, and then what does my b equal? -2 plus or minus the square root, -2 squared minus 4. What's my a? And then my c is 5. All over 2 times my a, which is 3. Negative negative gives me a what? It gives me a +2 plus or minus the square root. -2 times -2 gives me a 4. And then 4 times 3 gives me 12, and 12 times 5 gives me 60, so it's going to be -60 all over 2 times 3, which is 6, okay? So then I'm going to go 2 plus or minus 4 minus 60. That's going to give me a -56 over 6. So I'm going to bring this up here. Now remember, whenever we have that negative under the square root, I want us to split it up like this. 2 plus or minus, so the square root of -1, square root of 56, all over 6. And what is the square root of -1 in math? Remember, it's that special letter I. So I'm just going to put an I there over 6. Okay? Now we check. Does 56 have a perfect, is 56 a perfect square? No, it's not. So I have to do my birthday cake method. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to give me 56. Remember, the numbers I'm allowed to divide by are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, etc. I know a 2 can go into this because 56 is even. That's going to give me 28. What can go into 28? 28's even, so it's got to be a 2. 14, a 2 can go into that. 7, and then a 7's on there, so I can divide by 7, and that gets me that 1 that I'm looking for. So these are my numbers. I got 2, 2, 2, 7. Look for my pair. Here's a pair of 2's, okay? So what this is going to look like is 2 plus or minus. Now this 2 goes on the outside because it's circled with the I square root. What didn't get circled? In this case, a 2 and a 7 didn't get circled, so I'm going to have to multiply that, and that gives me 14 over 6. So last step is going to be the same. It doesn't matter that this I is here. Is there a number that can divide all three of these? 2, 2, and 6? Sure. 2 can divide each of these, right? So I'm going to divide each of these by 2, so that gives me a 1 plus or minus 1i square root of 14. Remember, this inside number is never going to be touched. You're not going to divide it. You're not going to do anything to it. It's left like that. And then 6 divided by 2 is going to give me 3. So in this case, remember, whenever you end up with that negative under the square root, we're going to treat it just like we did previously. So break it up into that square root of -1 in my number, and then check to see if that number is a perfect square. If it is, go ahead and put the number. If it isn't, I have to break it down for me with the birthday cake. Okay? And then this right here is going to be my answer. I'm going to leave it like that, and that's what we got for today. Let's go.